Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from deltacx.com, and all the time we hear, pretty much everywhere we go, isn't UX work easy to learn and do? Well, here's a good way to explain this to yourself and to coworkers who you might want to send this video to. Hello, coworkers. I'm Debbie. So you may have seen from episode 56, my model of phases of CX proficiency. So there's building blocks, which are the basis things that someone could try to learn in UX, like I use Figma, I talk to customers, I made a persona. Then there's science and technique. And that's when we actually care about these building blocks being done well, being done correctly, being done with science and technique, being done with skill and proficiency, the correct application of the right knowledge. At the building blocks level, people go, oh, UX, they sketch screens. I can sketch screens. That's a building block. Did you sketch screens well from the perspective of, did you make something that's accessible? Did you use the best practices? Did you use Gestalt principles? Did you use principles from cognitive psychology? So there is skill and science and technique that go into everything we do. But the problem is many people don't know that. So let's turn this model upside down. There we go. And now you have the iceberg version of the model, with thanks to friend of the show, Stephanie Walter, for suggesting I show it this way. With the iceberg model, we can see that above the waterline, we have the building blocks. Everybody sees the building blocks. The UX people sketched some screens. A CX researcher spoke to a customer. Ooh, those look easy. I can do them too. But they don't see what's below the waterline in iceberg land. They don't see the science and technique that went into what we do, what made us skilled and proficient. They don't see the strategy of what we did as well, because what we do, especially as you level up, does take a lot of a strategic approach to a large user-centered design process and deciding which phases and tasks you're going to do given the project and the time and things like that. We choose from different methodologies, etc. People see these little outputs and documents and deliverables we make, and they go, well, that looks easy. I can do that. But that would be really similar to saying, I've got a hammer. I must be a great carpenter. And you're not really realizing that, okay, you've got the tool, but you don't really have the technique. I really don't know anything about carpentry. I can swing a hammer around and I might get a nail in a wall, but that doesn't really make me a great carpenter. It doesn't even make me a junior carpenter. So we have to remember that understanding CX and UX is a little bit of that tip of the iceberg model, where the things we do look easy, and maybe we're so good at them, we make them look easy. But in reality, especially if we want to foster understanding and respect between your CX and UX teams and your other domains like product and engineering, marketing, DevOps, you name it, then people have to understand that there's so much more that went into those documents and artifacts and deliverables that we made rather than I sketched a screen. You would not walk over to a programmer and go, I can do that. I can type letters on a screen. You're just typing letters on a screen. You'll probably get punched in the face. And I wouldn't feel that badly for you because that's disrespectful, though I'm against violence. So please remember that while CX and UX look easy to learn and look easy to do, it's a tip of the iceberg model where the science and technique is the most important part, but it's below that waterline and people don't know it's there because you didn't see it. You didn't see our process. You didn't see how we made these things. You just saw the things. They just showed up. And it's the same reason why we all can't be gourmet cooks. You know, we can see the plate come out of the kitchen, but we really don't know what went into sourcing all of those food ingredients and coming up with that recipe and perfecting it and testing it on people and making it better. There's so much we do that is unfortunately behind the scenes and unknown. So to foster more respect and understanding and have better teams, you really have to learn to respect and value each other. We certainly respect and value our product managers and owners, our project managers, engineers, including developers, QA, DevOps, marketing. We've got to take a little bit more time to understand that there's so much more to UX than I talked to a customer, I sketched a screen, I used Figma, I filled in a framework. It's so much more going on, and I hope people will keep asking so we can tell you not to sell it to you or evangelize, not to teach you how to do our jobs, but just to make sure there is that core base respect and value that we're going to need to have for each other to have a functioning, if not high-performing team. So on that note, thanks for watching. I hope this helps. Please share it around the office if it will. You can subscribe here on YouTube, empathize with the like button so it helps us out in the algorithm. You can join our Slack workspace, which is completely free, and of course, optional tip jar. Thanks, and see you in the next video.